So at the end of this particular unit or this class we are having, every student that attends the class should be able to define what you mean by interactive multimedia and metamedia. Should also be able to explain the benefits of interactivity to multimedia applications. Should be able to describe the various components of interactive multimedia and be able to list out issues in multimedia systems. Then, everyone that took part in the class should be able to also explain the components of a multimedia system. And lastly, be able to relate the various trends in multimedia systems. This is the third time, yes, I'm teaching this course. I think the third or the fourth time. And I've not experienced any delay like this before. For the previous 3 times I taught the class, I always upload the video and send the slides to you. So I'm surprised. So the slides for today and the other one that we have done, I'll send them to your WhatsApp group first, while I finish the setup for the course page. By the time the course page is finally settled, your slide is supposed to be there, followed by your Zoom video and recording. And so that you don't have any problems at all. Everything must be there. So please, we'll find a way to resolve the issue as fast as possible. So that is the course objectives. Then, introduction, interactive multimedia. When you talk about interactive, or let's just start like this. When you say something is interactive, it means you'll be able to engage with it. Every one of us use the computer. Every one of us make use of devices. By the time we are using a device and we are not able to engage with that particular device, it is not interactive. For instance, you have a radio set. You listen to news. Maybe suddenly the newscaster just says something that you don't like, and you just got angry, and you reply the newscaster, only for you to realize that the newscaster cannot hear you. It means the radio set doesn't have an automatic feedback where it can record your response and then the newscaster can get back to you. So it is not interactive. Same with television. Somebody wanted to shoot another person to death and you felt bad. Let me stop this person before they kill the person. As we are just going there, you now realize that, there is no way you can get into the television. You won't be able to stop anything. And whatever shout you shout, nobody can hear you. It means the television is not interactive. But when somebody is talking to you on phone and suddenly the person rains some abusive words on you, instantly you fire back. The person hears you and you are now exchanging. That is interaction. When you are now using the computer and somehow you are sending messages, you are getting response, you are sending messages, you are getting response, it's as if you are chatting or talking with the computer, though maybe with your voice. You can do that nowadays. You can do it with your voice. You can also do it with your face. But mostly we can do it with touch and with typing. And you are just interacting with the computer. That is interaction. So when you have multimedia, which is made up of text, graphics, video, audio, bundled together with animation, and it allows you to exchange or have some form of feedback with the system, that is what you could call interactive multimedia. So let's look at a formal definition of interactive multimedia. Interactive multimedia implies or means allowing the end user some control over what elements to present and when. Oh, I want to watch a film in 5 hours' time, and the film will be showing in 4 hours' time. So what do? Can I be able to reset the system so that it can pause that particular film or push it towards a hard drive I have on my decoder? And when it is now 5 hours' time, even though the film must have ended on the studio, on the station, I can still watch it. You already have some control. So it allows user response to alter the way the presentation proceeds. As somebody is shouting at you on the telephone, you quickly call the person short. You realize you are abusing me. The person tells you sorry. You've been able with your response to cut the person short. But if it was radio, they are talking, you will not be able to say anything. So for someone to truly learn how to use a program or a product, it is essential that they actually use it. Because most time you want to learn about the ATM, how it works. There's no way you can learn about ATM, how it works, by looking at the manual and by looking at the machine. You must go there and use it. You must interact with it to now know how the machine performs. You may make some mistakes at the beginning, but over time, you'll be able to master it. So interactivity allows each user to actively participate in the viewing process instead of passively watching the material presented. So as the material is being presented to you, you can control what is presented, you can adjust it, and you may know, oh, let me increase the volume, let me make the picture clearer, let me record it, let me pause it, let me fast forward it. So the nature of your material determines the amount of interactivity you should use. So desktop computer is currently a popular vehicle for interactive multimedia presentation. So what essentially is interactive multimedia? I think we can define it as an integration of relationship between multimedia and interaction. This is multimedia, those tools that will enable you to have access to voice, have access to text, graphics, animation, and video, and the interaction that goes in between that will enable you to have a kind of exchange between the device you are using and yourself. So it is a multimedia system in which related items of information are connected and can be presented together. Many of you don't know that what you call video, video, is actually series of pictures that are bonded together and then they flow straight. The video we talk about is actually made up of two major components: the part that snaps the picture and the parts that record the audio of the events as they're unfolding. So it is normally designed in such a way that it can snap some at the rate of 50, some at the rate of 120 frames, picture frame per second. There are so many. And so when the algorithm runs through the picture like that, you see the person moving and everything. Because the voice has been recorded, the same algorithm will make sure that both the video and the voice are playing together from the same start. If the voice does not start playing like that, you may now see the person talking, and then the voice does not rhyme with his mouth movement. So they flow together, and then you now see everything like that. I think that concept was actually gotten from, the cartoon actually got the concept from the video, when it realized that video was made up of a series of pictures, and then they now started drawing those series of pictures as cartoon and animated it, and you now start seeing cartoons moving as if they are talking. So interactive multimedia is a multimedia system in which related items of information are connected and can be presented together. Oh, I just typed an email made up of text. I wish to send some voice recording to my sister in Belgium. I will attach it to the email. The text I'm sending, I need to sign it with my signature. I will get a graphic pen, I'll do that. Then I also need to put some of my pictures there too. You attach it. You now have picture, you now have audio, then you now have graphics, and you now have text. And you can now say send. Everything will be sent, received at the same time, together. Interaction. Interactive multimedia involves the combination of the following. First one is knowledge and information. Knowledge and information. Yes, the knowledge you are trying to share, which is made up of information that will make people to be aware. Then a collection of technologies, because even when you are sending messages through the computer, via the internet to some other places, technologies are combined together. Like me now, I'm even interacting with you. I have a camera here watching me. I have a microphone attached to the computer. I have my screen where I've typed what I want to type to. Then I have the internet technology passing through a network that will now be disseminating what I'm saying through the airwaves over to where you are, and you receive it together. So that is what you call the collection of technology. And then I have the laptop computer, which is also part of the technology. Then you also have a collection of multimedia components, modality, channels of communication, and medium, of course. it must pass through a medium. Am I going to use broadband? Am I going to use VSAT? Or am I going to use normal GSM data to send what I want to send? And then a set of collaborative systems and virtual environment. When you combine them together, you get what you call interactive multimedia system. So the Zoom application we are using is simulating a virtual classroom environment where a lecturer is now interacting with students. And in this case, it will look as if the students are actually with the lecturer. Meanwhile, they are very far, in faraway places. And so that is very good. Interactive multimedia is a type of collaborative media. When you say collaborative, it means it cooperates with other components together and refers to media that allows for active participation by the recipient, hence interactivity. What we are using now, of course, is an example of interactive multimedia. I am talking, and I'm not talking in vain. You are also there watching me, and whatever I'm saying is being recorded. So when you are not clear about something, you quickly raise your hands, ask your question, and I'm obliged to answer you or respond immediately. So traditional information theory will describe interactive multimedia as those media that establish two-way communication. And the field of human-computer interaction deals with aspects of interactivity and design in digital media. Other areas that may deal with interactive multimedia are new media art, interactive advertising, and video game production. Many of us watch video games. Many of us also watch adverts on television and different graphic or media arts. So interactive multimedia are often designed by information designers, and they rely on communication. I speak, you receive, you speak, I hear or I receive. So in the case of computer games, the communication here is visual. When you say visual, you are using your eye to watch the game, follow every movement. Oh, they are simulating Chelsea-Arsenal match, and you are just moving everything around the scene. Your ears are also watching acoustic, the sound that they are making. Oh, you are watching a boxing match, and the moment they land a blow on somebody's jaw, you hear the sound, boom. That is the acoustic. Then haptic communication between the user and the game. That haptic may be your joystick that you are using to now push a player or raise somebody's fist to land on another person's jaw. That is, you are now trying to control everything. So those are the kind of communication that exists between the person playing the game and the game that is playing. For us that are talking, I'm talking, you are receiving, you follow up with everything. And if you are not hearing me, you just put on your microphone, your earphone. Oh, you can hear well. If you are not seeing me well, you adjust your video. And then if at the end of the day, these things don't work, you quickly type a message and say, I can't hear you. I will now find out whether it's a general problem or the other. And then if you are dissatisfied with anything, you ask questions and we answer almost immediately. So all this boils down to interactivity, exchange between the user and the computer. In mobile telephony, like we are talking about mobile phone now, our GSM phone, communication happens between two people and it's purely acoustic at the first glance. Sound, you are hearing it, the person is talking at the other end here. Then later it goes beyond acoustic. You can also be feeling the vibes. Oh, this person that is talking, I can sense from his speech that the person is angry, is not too happy. And you ask the person, why is your voice so low? That is if it's somebody that is your relative. Because for those of us that are matured enough, when you call a lady and you ask her, how are you doing? She say, I'm not fine. Please don't ask her, what is the problem, except you have money. If you don't have money, don't ask her, what is the problem? Why are you not feeling fine? Else, your bank account will start raining down some alerts. I hope I'm communicating.
Yes, sir.
So according to media theory, the cultural implication of the medium has to be taken into account. So some of the things you take into account are constant availability. Your mobile phone is always there. You can always use it to talk. Then the person can hear you. When you are sleeping, it's even there by your bedside. You can just switch it and make call to it. So customization of the mobile phone will also be there. Oh, You have people's number there. You have some apps you are using, customized for chatting and other things. You also have your short message service, which are also part of the interactive media called mobile telephony. The first one is the mobile phone is available. You have your voice, you have your data, you have maybe your short message service. When you combine it with the effect of some apps, it now allows you to use the mobile technology to now communicate and exchange, interact with as many persons as possible. Components of interactive multimedia. Look at some components of interactive multimedia. Gabriel, Dari, please mute your mic. It's on and the background noise is disturbing us. Dari, Gabriel, mute your mic.
Okay.
Good. You have still unmuted it. Just mute it. Good. The components of interactive multimedia include the following. We have assets, we have information, we have knowledge. What is asset? An object that encapsulates a single piece of media. An object that, how do I call it? Aggregates a single piece of media together. You can call it an asset. The first one is video. It talks about the video aspect of multimedia. The second one is sound clip, which you do the sound recording, everything is there. The third one is graphic. The other one can be a document. So when you do a video recording, it appears as a video. Every single aspect of that video is on that recording. When you talk about sound clip, you have recorded somebody's audio message, it is there. When you talk about graphic, it may be a picture that has been taken or drawn, it is there. And when you talk about document, it may be something that you have typed, it's there. And then the second component of interactive multimedia is information. And information is the collection of data by a particular encoding, particular technology, we can call it here. Then knowledge, the interpretation and understanding of that information. For instance, when you send a message via WhatsApp from one channel to the other, as you are sending the message, it becomes encrypted. It is information, it is being sent. Nobody knows what you are sending once it's on the airwave. When it gets to its destination, the person, it is now decoded on the person's device. The person starts reading the message. From the interpretation and understanding of that message, which is information that was sent to that person, it will gain some knowledge or awareness. Oh, they are telling us so through this message we just received this afternoon, that this is the Zoom link for our class for this afternoon. You have interpreted it, you have understood it, you now have more knowledge. So those are the components of interactive multimedia. And let's also look at meta media. Meta media refers to new relationship between form and content in the development of new technologies and new media. And what does it do? It utilizes new media and focuses on collaboration across traditional fields of study. Meta media refers to the theoretical effect of mass media and focus on provision of flexible online environment for creating and sharing rich media documents for learning on core humanities subjects. Then let's go back to our issues in multimedia systems. A multimedia system is a system capable of processing multimedia data and application. It could be a machine. So it is characterized by the processing, storage, generation, manipulation, and rendition of multimedia information. When you say processing, whatever information enters is how do I call it? It's now interpreted to know or worked upon. Whatever instruction that is used in processing that information, that is what you call processing. So let's look at an ATM machine, for instance. You slot in your card, it asks you to type in your PIN. You type the PIN, it goes and verifies whether that is your real PIN. It is processing. It is processing. And then you want to withdraw money, it goes to your bank to check what you already stored there as your deposit. That particular aspect is already storing. And then when it now confirms that, oh, you indeed have enough balance. It now generates a message from the bank that now comes back to you. Go ahead and collect your money you collect. Or at the end of the day, it generates the amount of money you want to collect. You can also manipulate. Manipulate in this case, you withdraw some amount of money, you go back to your bank, and in collaboration with your bank network, it reduces the balance you already have in your account. Manipulate it because you have just withdrawn. And if you are depositing via the ATM, it goes to your bank and increases the balance you have there. Rendition, it now interprets everything and even uses, how do I call it, audio to tell you what is really happening. Oh, this bank doesn't have any network, or you don't have enough money in your account, or we don't have enough money to dispense. It will tell you all those messages. So a multimedia system is characterized by all these aspects. In mobile telephony, it was just skipping, I'm sorry. Characteristics of multimedia system. A multimedia system has 4 basic characteristics. What you essentially mean by characteristics are attributes, features, qualities that you can use in identifying those multimedia systems. First quality or characteristics or feature is that multimedia system will be computer controlled. Computer control doesn't mean you must connect them to a computer. Aspect of computing must exist that will be able to manipulate them so that they can work better. So it must be computer controlled. Multimedia systems are integrated, meaning you have several media coming together, collaborating together to work as one. That is what you mean by integrated. You have audio. As I'm talking to you now, the webcam is recording my face and what I'm saying. The microphone is recording my voice. And the system is transmitting everything over the channel, over the medium to where you are. So that is what you mean by integrated. Everything is put together in one system to make sure that they collaborate together and send everything from this separate medium together to you. And the information they handle must be represented digitally. All information is only in the images or video. When you say digitally, every information on my system now, they are in digital form because that is the only way computers can represent information. But when they are being transmitted over a medium of communication or channel, they are no longer digital. They are now in analog. So how are they now transmitted? There is, in every of your computer inbuilt, you have what you call a modem. A modem is a device called a modulator, demodulator. So what you mean by modulator is, since the computer produces digital signals, the modulator converts it to analog signal, which is being produced by telephone and other medium that carries information over the airwaves to other locations. When it now travels and gets to its destination, it is received again in the analog form. And then the other part of the model, which you call a demodulator, now converts it from analog back to digital, and the other computer can now view it. So when it is converted from digital to analog, it is called modulation. And when it's now converted from analog back to digital, it's called demodulator. So the word modem is the first 2 letters of the word modulator and the first 3 letters of the word demodulator. When you bring them together, this is now called modem. So that's what does the transmission. So the information they handle must be represented digitally. And the interface to the final presentation of media is usually interactive. Query by example is best access method. Editing of media is always offline, because even when you want to edit the media, you may not edit it while it's being sent. It is when you receive it that you can now start editing it. Challenges for multimedia systems. Do we have some challenges? Supporting multimedia applications over a computer network can render the application distributed because it's being sent over different channels. And this will involve many special computing techniques. Multimedia systems may have to render a variety of media at the same instant, which is a distinction from normal application. And so there is a temporal relationship between many forms of media, example, video and audio. There are two forms of problems here. Sequencing within the media, like I mentioned before, playing frames in correct order and time frame in video. The pictures that make up the video are snapped separately. The audio that records the voice is also done separately. They must be synchronized, meaning they must be sequenced in such a way that they start playing from the same point. So that when my lips open and moves, the voice that corresponds with that movement of the lips must be heard by the person. So the synchronization, intermediate scheduling, the video and audio, lip synchronization is clearly important for humans when they are watching playback of video and audio, and even animation and audio. So even when you are hearing what the person is saying, you also watch the lips movement. It must synchronize. It must be in sync with what is being said. So that is another big challenge. So if the system doesn't have a good algorithm that can do this synchronization and sequencing, you may have somebody talking, and what he spoke of 10 seconds ago is what you are hearing now. And I don't think communication will be very sweet when it is done that way. The key issues multimedia systems need to deal with here are how to represent and store temporal information, how to strictly maintain the temporal relationships on playback and retrieval, and what processes are involved in the output. First of all, data has to be represented digitally. So many initial source of data needs to be digitized. And this will involve, if it is for graphics or still images, you must scan them so that they go into a computer and be in digital form. If it is sampling audio, video, it must be in that form. Although digital cameras now exist for direct sync to digital capture of images and video, apart from digital camera, we also have webcam, which can also capture everything you are saying into a computer, because there's a microphone already built into the computer that also records your voice. And the sequencing and synchronization are perfect between the webcam and the microphone. And then the data, again, another challenge is that the data is large, several megabytes, easily for audio and video. For audio, it's low. For instance, if I finish recording this class over a 40-minute period, I may have about 200 megabytes of video. But funny enough, Zoom records the audio and video separately. Zoom records the audio and video separately. So for the audio, I may have just maybe 25 megabytes. But because the video and the audio, everything comes together, it will be larger. The video takes more space. Then the lectures you are watching, everything also occupies some space. So it's telling me, I think it's still the basic application. I will resolve this over this weekend so that by next week, we won't have these issues again. The data is large, several megabytes, easily for audio and video. Therefore, storage, transfer bandwidth, and processing overhead are very, very high. Data compression techniques are also very common, because if the computer renders your video the way it is being recorded, I don't think you'll be able to handle it. So most times, the videos are compressed so that you'll be able to get them easily in a smaller version. So some qualities may be lost, but you still, essential attributes of the video are still retained. Then you also have host computer power requirements. The computer I'm using must be on. If there's power failure, it's difficult for me to transmit to you. Data storage and management requirement. Do I have enough space on my hard disk to store the video? And will I be able to manage this Zoom interaction between myself and yourself? Then human interface usability requirements. Sometimes I may have problem with my mic. I may also have problem with my webcam. And sometimes maybe I talked about the mic now when I'm speaking. Even my, what do you call it? Your voice output, that's your speaker, may also have some problem. So all these ones may interfere with the usability of the interface, and people may not be able to use it well. And you also have network latency and throughput requirement. That's another big problem. Is the network working well? There has been some instances when I'll be having this class with some of your students in the past, it will just go, the network will just trip off. And what do? I will have to connect back. If it doesn't work, sometimes there's rainfall. I will now switch over to another service provider. Most cases, I have 2 or 3. Switch over to them so that everything works well like that. So that is also another issue. Desirable features for a multimedia system. For every multimedia system you want to work with, it must have the following features. Number 1, very high processing power. Because data that you are processing will be very large, if you are using a computer to carry out multimedia processing, it means the processing power of that computer needs to be high. Very, very high. Meaning my processor needs to be fast. My RAM needs to also be large so that I don't clog my memory with irrelevant files that will now slow down the system. So each time I'm delivering the lecture, everything will be moving on fast. Multimedia capable file system. I should also have a good file system that will help me deliver real-time media, like video, audio streaming, special ones. I think Zoom has that one already embedded within their system. So hardware and software needed. I think Zoom has all this one already embedded. And you also have data representations and file formats that support multimedia. In this case, the data we are transmitting may be in MP4. MP4 manages it well. That is, it could compress and reduce the size of the video that you are sending out. So at the end of the day, MP4 is the standard we are using, and it may compress the file into manageable chunks. When you now get the recording, it can decompress it for you, and then you can watch it well in real time. And so, why do we need a good data representation and file format that support multimedia? Because most of the multimedia we are interacting with or we are making use of always allows us to represent or transmit our information in real time. Real time means as it is happening. Like now, this class is not recorded and sent to you. I am speaking, you are hearing me, it's also being recorded. So it is real time. The system is live on, and it is recording everything. So efficient and high input output. Input output to the file source system needs to be efficient and fast. Input now, my audio, what I'm saying is input. The system is recording it. What picture is taken from my face is also input, is recording it. And then the screen I have here, I'm using to interact with you, is also input. By the time it is processed and sent over the communication medium, you get it there. What you are now seeing is output. And if you also react from wherever you are, your own side, it becomes input. And here, I'll get it as output. So it needs to be very, very efficient. Then at the end of the day, all these things are being recorded. I should be able to create or have enough space on my system. It stores them so that you can always play them back over and over again. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the class, I am very, very sorry. Your 2 classes so far, we've not gotten your feedback. We will resolve everything between today, tomorrow, so that you get your videos. If I can't send the videos, I'll send all your slides to your WhatsApp first while I'm still working on your course page. But everything about your course page will be ready. So by next week, our class will revert to the normal period, 5 to 6. We only pick 2 hours this week and 2 hours last week to meet up with the 2 classes that we missed. So by the end of today, we would have gotten up to date with the 4 classes. So by next week, we revert to our normal class. And that will be just 1 hour, 5 to 6 o'clock. Other desirable feature, special operating system. Not all operating system will allow you to interact maybe with a computer system over a communication medium. Everybody is talking, everything goes on where it's difficult. So special operating system will allow access to file system and process data efficiently and quickly. So even when I send a video to you, the operating system will need to fetch that video out, look for the appropriate app that can open that video, and you start playing it. No problem. Storage and memory, large storage unit of the order of 50 to 100 gigabytes or more, and large storage memory. Large memory in the area of RAM, 50 or 100 megabytes. I don't have that. I have about 250 gigabytes on my system and about 6 gigabytes RAM. So large caches are also required. That is backup memory, internal memory that can also hold your data well as it is being processed. And other desirables feature network support, client-server system, common as distributed system. So if you have a good network connectivity in your place of work, better. If not, the network support has to do with getting a subscription with an internet service provider so that everything can go on seamlessly. Then you also need user-friendly tools to handle media. Maybe you have Windows Media Player. In this case, our media user-friendly tool is the Zoom application that already embeds most of these features we are talking about into one application that we are using. Then we continue. Components of a multimedia system. The components here of a multimedia system are capture devices, which include video camera, video recorder, audio microphone, keyboard, mouse, graphics tablet, 3D input devices, tactile sensors. The one when you touch, it senses your hand. The one you have on your Android phone, your touch screen. That's what you call tactile sensor. Then video recording devices, digitizing and sampling hardware. You also have storage devices like hard disk, CD-ROM, JAS or zip disk. Then we have DVD and also flash drives. And we need communication networks, which includes Ethernet, token ring, FDDI, ATM, intranet, and internet. The internet is the one we really need. Then if you are working within a company, you may have intranet, indoor communication. We need a computer system, multimedia desktop machine, workstations, and then we also need display devices, which include CD quality speakers, high definition television, you may use that, high resolution monitors, color printers, and so on. So when we come for the second part of the class, because it will log off now, so just give us like 2 minutes, you log in again with the same login details. We'll come back and continue with trends in multimedia. So see you very, very soon, in some few seconds. I don't want to say anything because it will cut off now very soon. And then if you have any questions, I think you can build up your questions so that the second part of the class, for this first part of first class, we'll be able to take all the questions. It is 2 classes. The first one now we are done with the first part. We'll continue with the second one. Then we'll now start the second class. Maybe it may also continue with the second recording. So we might